Hello and good evening and welcome to RPM Esports. We are here for the final race of the season here in Brazil. As the cards are going out for their first runs in quali, we'll see who we've got. There's a bit of a queue. Did Williams again. We've seen this a few times from Williams throughout the season, trying to get the toe round. We'll see what Giraffe and Entity can do with that. So we are in the season 4 final race tonight. We have still technically a championship battle. So it's 40 points for a race win in RPM. We've got Colin in first place in the championship on 40 points. On 40 point gap to Brandon in the McLaren. So if Colin does not finish tonight or finishes outside the points and Brandon wins the race, he can go level on points. So it's still all to play for, although terribly unlikely, unfortunately. But we'll see what Brandon can do. I'm sure he'll be pumped up and ready to absolutely go for it. Rain update, Jones says, Luke. Very, very good question. It's looking very miserable. I don't actually have any of the data. I'll see if I can get it and I'll update you better. But I'll go old school here and try and use my GCSE geography and say that dark cloud over turn 5 is looking pretty bad. So watch out. But I'm sure you guys will manage fine. I will see if I can get the task for you now, Luke, though, so I can actually provide you with some good insights. It says rain in a race, but no rain icon. Interesting. I think I've had that before, so I think sometimes it does get it wrong in the game. I will try and get tasks for you and let you know. Right, so we've got a few yellow flags. I think that was the Williams still probably on extremely worn out tyres after that spin. And we've got Glassy going to cross the line. As Giraffe goes to 109 and Glassy goes a whole 1.1 seconds quicker. I think Giraffe probably just a sight of lap, and I don't know if he was following his teammate before he spun, so that might be the reason why he's a bit slower. Colin on the medium tyres, 108 dead. He's just a little bit off the pace of Glassy there. It's a good start for the McLarens. But Colin on those mediums, showing he has some serious pace already. And we know that all the way through this season he's been on absolute fire. So we're on board with Maggot here in the Alpine. Let's see how he gets on. Coming through the final corner now, all about that exit. We're trying to hug the inside as much as he can here. Watch out for that curb. And Richard, yes, it's raining outside. Luke, yeah, well, let's hope you manage to keep dry. Yeah, we'll see how you get on if there is some rain. So Maggot puts himself up into 4th. We've got Jetfish in 3rd, Al in 5th. And I'll just have a look at the standings now. Unfortunately, I don't have Spritzy with me. He always gives you the great graphics. Unfortunately, you just have to rely on me reading it out to you. So, as I mentioned, in the Drivers' Championship, Brandon is 40 points behind. He can still win, but it relies heavily on it going wrong for Colin tonight. We've got in the Constructors, we got Ferrari about just under 40 points ahead of Mercedes, so that could still change. Jetfish and Al already mixing themselves up in the top lot there, so they'll be seeing what they can do. And McLaren just 20 points behind Mercedes, so they might be able to get the jump and get second in the Constructors, but it's looking advantage to Ferrari so far. As Evil Master starts his flying lap, we'll stay on board for this, see if we can get the whole lap in. Yeah, Higgsy, I will try and get weather info for you. That seems to be requested a lot. Smith saying, let's go Aston, good luck back at Higgsy. Well, yeah, Aston winning the first division last night, which Schmidt was a part of with Zabiaka, so they did great and got some serious points for Aston in the all gears standing. And I do believe they're second in the all gears standings. That's some huge points for those guys. So see what Aston's can do for them tonight. We've got F1 Widow saying evening all, evening. I hope you've come to see Colin absolutely flying around as per usual. And Huss says, come on Astons. Oh, as we see Evil Master have a huge crash. I looked away for a second to check the comments. And has he got someone coming behind? He has. But they get through okay. As Brandon, and, well, control the controllables, and he's doing exactly that, goes first. So that's advantage Brandon at the moment. And he's got his teammate between him and Colin. It could all liven up. And after, I don't know if anybody tuned in for the race last night, there was a hell of a lot of crashes and safety cars. So anything can happen. Brandon's just got to maximise what he can do. Who else have we got? We've got Sminotler on a flying lap yet. We have. He's just starting by the looks of it. Right, so the update on the weather front is we have no task tonight. So absolutely no way of knowing. But as you guys know from mine and Spritzy's commentary, we're quite happy to try and be the experts for you by guessing and having absolutely no idea. So if you'd like me to do that, I'm happy to do that. But that could mean that you have even less idea than you did before. As we've got Sminotler, he'll open his DRS now. He'll hug the inside line, gets close to the wall, and he crosses for a 1:08.3, a very competitive time, sees him up in 6th place. So it's all getting very, very tight at the front. We've got the top 10 separated by just over half a second currently. Yeah, Smith saying looks great, could be rain. That's what I'm thinking. But then I think we had it started off grey for us and it just didn't come. But yeah, let's see. It'd be nice to have a bit of rain, put the cat amongst the pigeons a little bit. So I think we got Colin on a lap. Let's see if we can get this. I am solo on comms tonight. So unfortunately, you've just got to listen to my boring voice. We haven't got Spritzy's wonderful voice to really cheer you guys up and give you some good intel from the pit lane. So we got Colin coming through the second sector with an Aston in front of him, who gets out of the way promptly. And just one corner left. And I see that he's got a load of cards on his helmet there. He's got the spades and hearts and diamonds. So will he get the luck that he needs? I don't think he needs the luck. He's that quick anyway. As Colin crosses the line, 1:07.3. So that's a real benchmark set. But can the others improve? Maybe the track will ramp up for the final runs. We might get a bit more track temperature and see what happens. As I think we've had Andrew, who's put himself up into 4th in the Alpine. We've got Maggot about to finish a lap. He crosses the line and he improves. So great qualifying so far from the Alpines in 3rd and 5th, splitting the McLarens. And Colin ahead at the top. And we've got Brandon in the chat. I'm guessing you've got your AirPod in there, Brandon, so maybe listening for some strategy hints. I don't know if you've listened to what the weather forecast is saying. We have absolutely no idea. Our equipment's broken. Oh, and a Red Bull into the wall, and I do believe that was Brent. But he's still kept it going. Got Higgsy now coming up on his first flying lap. He's coming around the final corner now. Gets the power down. And I know Schmidt will be keeping an eye on this, and Huss, to see what can be done from Higgsy here and how the Astons get on. As he crosses the line, 1:08.1, so he's right in the mix as well. So now we've got behind Colin, from 2nd to 14th, all the drivers within 8 tenths. That's what you've got to love about the Premier Division. It is so tight. And I didn't notice Evil Master, after his earlier spin, has put himself up into 4th. So he's got in between that McLaren and Alpine battle, very much like the real life McLaren and Alpine battle. And Evil Master on another flying lap here. He's coming to the end of the second sector now. And it looks like he's half a second down. Yeah, he just misses the apex there, so unfortunate for him. But he should have... I don't know if I'll have another look at it. Yeah, it's still 6 minutes left in the session, so some of these drivers will be coming in again and putting a fresh set of tyres on and going again. So we've got Volcano in 8th now on a flying lap. And I think he is closely followed by Brandon. I'll just check that. We may as well get on with one of the championship protagonists. And Luke says, oh, and Brandon, that corner, it seems to be, it caught me out a lot. Brandon's a much better driver than I am, though, but it seems so slippy on the back end this season. Volcano, he's pretty much matched his time so far, but he does improve by just 0.03 of a second, so he's now up into 6th and in that battle for best of the rest. As Brent is out, so he'll be starting from the back. I think we've got Glassy, who's 2 tenths up. This could be a game changer at the front, so he wants to be up there trying to help Brandon as much as possible. As Glassy crosses the line, and he goes faster than Brandon, so he's up into 2nd place now. So McLaren's are doing very well so far, and it'd be nice to see Glassy have a good run of it tonight. He's looked like he's had the pace at quite a lot of races, and then he's just run out of luck a little bit. So see what he can do. It looks like Mr. Backer has also got the deck of cards on his helmet here, so he's hoping for some luck, and he definitely needs some this season. He improves by half a second, but it's not enough, only a 1:09.9, but I know he can do better than that. We got Giraffe. Giraffe is in 14th at the moment, but he's in the very tight midfield battle here. And he's going to get a little bit of a tow, and it is the classic Williams team here, helping each other around. 1:08.5, so he does improve, but only by a tenth. Let's see what his teammate Entity's up to. Is he on a flyer? So he was playing a team game there for Giraffe. He could do with improving his time himself at the moment. He's currently 1.4 seconds off his teammate. Luke's saying he was 1.3 seconds off his best lap, so maybe with the fact that it's overcast, they're just not the track temperature. Obviously in time trial we have perfect conditions, so hopefully Luke can find a bit of time, and I bet Colin's hoping he can too. Brandon saying Glassy has been giving everyone a chance, just wait till next season. Well, yeah, I think Glassy's very quick. It'd be nice for him to have a bit of luck. Maybe tonight's the night. Craigo saying Forza Ferrari, so he'll be hoping Luke can find that 1.3 seconds. And Colin says he won't give anything away about the weather. Everyone has to guess. I love that. He wants the title tonight. Oh, and there goes Backer, ruining it for for Colin. Rain is expected for the race, so it's going to be interesting. And Brandon, for a great comment. Wardy saying, "Come on, Team Ferrari." Yeah, there's quite a few. We've got a bit of a mix between the Ferrari and Aston supporters at the moment. And Higgsy up to 2nd, talking of Aston on the 1:07.8. We got Quinn in 9th on the Alfa Romeo. He's invalidated his next lap. A lot of people in the pit at the moment who will be coming out for their final runs. Luke, 10th up. And Smith saying Higgsy. Yeah, what a lap from Higgsy. And that's big for Aston. And they'll be hoping Bakker can get himself up the leaderboard a little bit. Right, and will Luke be full throttle through here? Yeah, absolutely pins it down. And he's 6 tenths up now. Luke's absolutely flying through that middle sector. Gets a lovely exit. He'll keep it nice and tight on a run to the line. He'll open his DRS momentarily. There it goes. Coming up to the line. What can he do? He does improve by 9 tenths. It's a big improvement. That just shows he was only half a second off being 5th. But instead he's 15th. That just shows how close it is. And if it is a wet race, then it is going to be absolutely crazy. Because these guys are so closely matched. Colin now on his flying lap. We'll go on board with this. I'll remove the hood for a second. So we can really appreciate the lap. Right, as Colin enters the second sector, using all the curb, he just really does maximise the racetrack. Coming down now where we saw Brandon spinning earlier, takes a lot of curb on there. Uses a bit of curb at the exit, gets it slowed down in a straight line, gets it turned in. Lovely apex, uses all the curb on the outside. Now he'll keep it tight. He's 1 tenth up so far. Where can he set the bar? Opens the DRS wide. Keeps it just in track limits there, and that's a 107.1, so he improves by nearly 2 tenths. Unbelievable, as Higgsy is out, but he will stay second. We got Glassy on a fast lap here. We got a yellow flag just behind him. I think that might just be a slow moving car getting out of the way. Glassy has a bit of a moment where we saw Brandon have a moment, and he's 4 tenths down. We'll go on board with Brandon now. And we just timed it. Brandon puts himself up into second, where he wants to be. Evil Master up into third. Both, I feel really bad. I've missed both of Evil Master's laps there, and he's put 2 absolute corkers in to get up there. So they've tried to go with Colin. Colin's done all he has to do in qualifying so far. I believe you get a point for pole, and I think 2 points for fastest lap. So if Brandon can win, Colin finishes outside the points, and Brandon gets the fastest lap, Brandon can still win the championship by 1 point. There's a lot of if, buts and maybes, but if we've got a rain, as we see a Haas going off just ahead of Volcano 3 tenths up. That must have been, I can't see who that was. Maybe that was Davey, or it could have been Evil Master actually. And Volcano crosses the line and does improve up into 4th. And there are 4 drivers on a 107.8, just unbelievable. 4, let's say 4, 5, is that? Yeah, 5, can't even count now. Absolutely flying. So who else we got on a lap? We got Colin out. I think that is everyone. So that will be our grid for tonight. Glassy ends up in 6th after looking like he might be able to challenge at the front. He'll be hoping for a quick start to help Brandon put the pressure on Colin. We got Brandon, he's right where he needs to be. He's right next to Colin. Can he get a move done early or into turn 1? That'll be very interesting. Brandon saying, I don't do if, buts, or maybe, I do absolutes. Well, I'd love to hear it, Brandon, and good luck with your race. And I hope for a great battle between you and Colin. Wardu saying Colin is another level. Colin has been unbelievable again this season, but he's had some serious tests throughout the season with Brandon's pace this year. So there we go. We've got a bit of a mix up there. We've got a Ferrari, McLaren, Haas, Alpha Tauri, Aston Martin, McLaren, then come the 2 Alpines. And I think, looking at it, because I know a lot of people usually ask about Mr. Bakker, unfortunately, not the best session for Mr. Bakker down there. In front of him, Entity, Ferretti, Westy, Luke, who was so close to the others but just couldn't quite find that 1.3 seconds he needed, and Giraffe in 14th. So it's all to play for in what is apparently a wet race. Right, so just waiting for the drivers to sort out their strategies. I might have to speak to Mr. Bakker after this. It looks like the information about wet weather could be horribly wrong. That looks like blue skies to me. But as anyone who's in a chat probably knows, whatever I say kind of instantly gets proven wrong within usually brief moments. So Colin leads us off for the final time in season 4 on this formation lap. And it'll be very, very exciting down into turn 1, I think, here. We'll have a little look at tyres. So, a bit of a mixture from strategies. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Giraffe on those soft tyres. He will be absolutely flying off the start, and with a few hard runners in front of him, he could really try and make up some places, so that could get very, very spicy in the midfield. Obviously those soft tyres will also wear much quicker. It can be very high on tyre wear here depending on the amount of wing you are running. So we've got Brandon matching what Colin does, both on the medium tyres. Evil Master on mediums, Volcano hards, Higgsy and Glassy then on mediums. Maggot and Andrew, both Alpines, picking the hards. Hopefully they will be pitting on different laps and not double stacking. Quinn on the mediums with Jet fishing out. Just to mention, Jet fishing out, they'll be really disappointed with that qualifying session, being second in the constructors. They'll be hoping for a good start, but they've split their strategy, medium and hards. Davey Sminotler on the hards. Giraffe, he'll be the one to watch at the start on the softs. Luke on the mediums. The rest on hards, apart from Entity, down in 18th. So, here we go for the final race of Season 4 in the Premier Division. Colin takes his place, his championship rival. Brandon pulls into his spot, getting as far forward as he can. Let's see, the rest of the grid still forming up. We've got the Brent is still only just getting there. There seems to be an Alfa Romeo in the wall. I don't know how they've managed that. Westy's been disqualified. Bit of a bug maybe here. But Brent forming up. So there's going to be some cold tyres. He's got disqualified, so they'll get cold tyres. But I'd imagine Colin and Brandon have lost so much tyre temp there, waiting for everyone to get onto the grid. So let's see if we can get a good camera angle. Okay, let's go. So Brandon, off from the start. Can he get a move up the inside? He's got a better second phase of start. Wheel to wheel with Colin. He's got the inside line, but that gives Colin the inside line to the second corner. It looks like there might have been an incident behind people running off using the runoff, but Brandon is past and he's gapped him a little bit there. Daniel saying Bakker for the win. We'll see. He's already up 4 places, up into 15th. Colin coming behind. Evil Master also there. Glassy's got up, and Jetfish up into 5th from 10th. What a start from him. So advantage McLaren in the early stages. I would strongly believe that it's really important just to get through these early stages intact, because as we saw last night, there could be a hell of a lot of incidents throughout this race. It's a bit of a war of attrition, this one. So, what gaps have we got? We've got a lot of cars running closely together. I'll try and get the best action for you, but Brandon and Colin doing battle again always promises to be good. So I think it's Jetfish is right behind Glassy now. And also, just to mention, Volcano on those hards looks in a pretty good position. I'll have a quick look at the position changes there. Just get back on board with this, because Colin is right on the back of Brandon once again. Just 3 attempts here, but it's very important to save your ERS here, because if you use it, it's very hard to recharge it. And as we can see, Brandon's used a bit more at this stage, just about 5% more, probably to get that start. Just looking at it, we've got Brent and Giraffe in the pits, so there's been an incident between the pair of them, you'd imagine. Maggot probably got caught up, and Andrew as well. The Alpine's absolute disaster, down 9 and 11 positions, the biggest losers out of that start. We've got Jetfish up 5 places, and then a few in the midfield getting up those places because of the incident at the, well, I say at the back, it was in the middle of the pack of drivers. Now they've been displaced to the back. Al is right behind Higgsy here, only 3 attempts. Quinn as well, and Sminotler in the Alfa Romeo is following that, but Colin looks like he's using that ERS. Is he going to go for it? Brandon doesn't cover the inside. Colin goes down the inside. Colin's got the inside. Will Brandon try and switch it back? Will Brandon now have ERS though? That is the question. So they both deploying ERS, but will he have DRS? He does. Colin's just got a straight line speed there, but he was deploying ERS there, and this will keep going on. Evil Master just falling off the back of these two at the moment. Glassy keeping him company. So Collins had a really good middle sector. He's now half a second up the road. But Brandon is still within DRS. So these two will probably start pulling away from Evil Master behind. But will Brandon have enough pace in the straight to get the move done? Not quite yet. Tucks it in nicely. He'll have another helping of DRS here in a set. For Brandon at this point, because Colin seems to have great pace in those middle sectors, and Brandon just can't quite close in the DRS zone close enough to get the move done. It might just be a case of waiting and letting the strategy play out. We'll see what's happening behind. We've got Glassy right behind Evil Master. We had Al getting past Higgsy in the Mercedes. And then it looks like everyone's kind of stayed in position for the lap or so behind, but they're all following quite closely. Luke's been gapped a bit by Davey, and he's got Fretty and Entity for in his mirrors. Oh, and Brandon's off. Oh no, that's huge. Has he got damage? I can't quite see. He's spun, and he has. He's dropped it in the middle sector. I'm so sorry for missing that, everyone, but he's got no front wing, so he's got to nurse that round. Get in the pits. Hopefully it's only the front wing. It looks like he's had a scrape up the side as well. Here come the Alpines. He just gets it round, and he'll have to pull off to the left and get into the pits. Now he'll be needing desperately a safety car. Colin has got the gap to Evil Master as well. Glassy can't put him under pressure either. He's still struggling to get past Evil Master. So let's have a little look at what Glassy's doing. He's in the DRS. Has a little look. Can't make it happen. And I'll just switch to tyres so we can see what Brandon's going on. Yeah, and Brandon goes to the hards. Maybe he'll try and run them to the end. It'll be a very long way to go, but at the moment I think he's got to do that until there's hopefully a safety car. There's another yellow in sector 2, and that's a Red Bull. I think that's Brent. Brent down in 20th. He's having a bit of a nightmare at the moment. And he maybe just absolutely cooked those tyres. But I think this track... Oh, he's disqualified. What a shame. It's the glitch of having to stop and let people not resume unsafely. As Glassy on Evil Master, he tries to go around the outside. Evil Master looks like he might have the inside still, but Glassy really late on the brakes there. Great move. And he gets it tucked in, but now Evil Master will be coming back with a DRS. Yeah, and you can see how much that helps. Evil Master holds onto it. Great battle for the second position at the moment. As Jetfish is slowly coming back at them, but the DRS is helping them keep the gap a little bit. We got Volcano and Owl also very close together. Higgsy just behind that, and Sminotla. As we see Backer on the leaderboards getting up a place, we'll quickly have a look what's happening here. Oh, and I'm glad we've come to have a look at this. This is a right old battle going on. 4 cars. And they're getting so close together. Backer might have a bit better drive. He runs a bit of a wider line, but there's not much room before breaking into this corner. He's going to have to be patient, wait for the straight. We've got another yellow flag. Sminotla's round. These guys coming up to it, so we'll see what's happened to Sminotla. He's dropped it where we saw Brandon drop it in qualifying. Back on board with Backer. Up through the last corner. And he's just dropped back, just got a little bit of a poor exit compared to Maggot there, and that's going to put him under pressure from Andrew as well. And look at Andrew's speed in a straight line, absolutely flying past him. So Backer just getting a bit caught up with those Alpines at the moment. We're still in a point position because we're awarding points all the way down to 15th here. And a shout out to Westy in 16th, holding on to the back of this. Usually drives in first division, again making a great appearance in Premier Division so far. Now we've got Maggot right behind Sminotla, who had the spin just last lap. 1/10 behind at the moment. And it's hard to make a move around this middle sector, but he's got close there. And I imagine Sminotla's tyres are just not agreeing with the temperature they're at right now. But yeah, Maggot's going to have to stay patient. He's got a big DRS zone coming up. And he'll be hoping he has a similar pace to Andrew. Because Andrew absolutely flew past Backer on that straight. But a bit of a DRS train forming here from 12th downwards. Just to mention as well, up ahead, we got Luke, who's gaining on Davey now. He's took a second out of him in the last few laps. And yeah, got off to a good clean start there. Luke up 5 positions from 15th. As Maggot gets past Sminotla, but Sminotla will now have the DRS. He's going to go around the outside. It's going to get extremely messy here. They're going 3 wide. The Alpine switch position, and it's the other Alpine doing battle. But Sminotla holds them both off round the outside. Lovely racing from these lot. And now, oh, Backer's dropped back a bit, but Westy is getting right behind Backer, who's not too far from this battle himself. What else have we got here? We've got Davey close behind Quinn. We've got Al still stuck behind Volcano. Jetfish, he's gained 2 temps on the battle for second. Oh, and as the Alpine goes round, Andrew just losing it off the final corner. And will that leave Maggot a bit exposed here? Because will he get DRS? He hasn't got DRS. But Backer just doesn't appear to have that straight line speed that the Alpines have, as Westy gets very close in behind him as well. So Westy seems to have great pace on the straight. So, chat, have we got any predictions at this early stage in the race? I usually ask you before, but I have completely forgotten tonight. Daniel was saying, come on, Backer. Yeah, he's just a little bit stuck at the moment. He's under a bit of pressure from Westy. But we'll go have a look at some other battles just quickly. We've got Davey close behind Quinn. Huss saying, getting cloudy. I think, Huss, you need to be taking my job here. I said I was going to be doing weather forecast, but I'm doing a terrible job. It was bright blue skies as well, so maybe rain is coming. And maybe that's why we're seeing people with such different wings at the moment. As the Haas goes round the outside. Good clean racing. Quinn still fighting back. Has a little bit of a moment as well not to collect Davey. Great racing from who kept it clean. Yeah, Smith saying might be on a wet setup. Yeah, I mean, there seems to be a big difference on the straights. As Glassy, has he had a moment? He must have done. He's down. He's lost 3 positions there. Yeah, I think there is a few rain setups coming out. Wardy saying no rain today. And it just seems to be difference. I mean, there's a bit of blue sky over there above, but then it's all grey down here. Obviously, we're all just guessing at the moment. I mean, we can have a prediction, see how many people think it's going to rain and how many don't. I mean, what a race from the Mercedes as well here. Jetfish and Al managed to get themselves up to 3rd and 4th from 10th and 11th. Huss saying, what a mystery. Yeah, absolutely. One of the greatest mysteries of RPM at the moment. So Glassy and Higgsy going wheel to wheel. Higgsy holds on to it, but he's going to be... Oh, big moment for Glassy. What a save that was. I'm glad we caught that on. I would have been straight into the barrier there. What an unbelievable quick reaction. Oh, he dives down the inside. Can he keep it in? Good respect from both of them. Higgsy gave him the room. It's a bit late from Glassy, but no contact made. And he keeps hold of it. And he'll be chomping at the bit to get back up there, because he was running and putting Evil Master under some massive pressure, but obviously had a moment somewhere, and it's not played out perfectly for McLaren as yet, but anything can happen. We've still got the rumours of rain flying round. We've got Quinn. He's trying to go with Davey, who is catching Volcano, who in turn is catching this fight in front. And they seem to be... It seems to them be a bit of a split, and then you have Entity and a few of the other cars behind. We did see Westy get past Backer in the last few laps. They're now 4.5 seconds off the Alpine of Maggot, so dropping back at the moment. Now, I think as well, the other thing that we are going to be coming up to is pit stop windows. As we can see, it's a split at the moment of people on mediums and hards. Those medium tyres will probably need replacing in the next few laps. Wardy saying Luke moving up nicely. Yeah, up 5 places, kept it nice and clean off the start. Still a lot that can happen. We're only a third of the way through this race at the moment. Oh, and Davey had a moment there. Westy picks up a 3-second penalty as we watch that happen. Luke's right up behind Davey now. If he can make use of his ERS and get a good exit here, we could see Luke getting up another position. And yeah, Davey has a moment there, runs a bit wide. Luke's going to put it up the inside, and he'll have a nice helping dose of DRS. Yeah, and he's... Oh, but so does the Haas. The Haas must have had it from Quinn. So now Luke is chasing after his brother in front, both on 12-lap-old mediums. And this could get quite nice and exciting. I'll just draw your attention to Brandon quickly, who is now just behind Giraffe. He's just overtaken Giraffe at the back of the field. So he's starting to come back at the field. He's clearly got the pace, as we all seen, but that mistake cost him dearly. And a yellow flag. And someone's off at turn 3, is that? I think turn 3, looking at the mini-map. And Colin now 6.7 seconds ahead of the field as we got another yellow flag. I think someone had a moment. Might have been Fretty there. Right, and what I'll do is I'll stay on board with Luke for a second. I'll keep an eye on this battle because I quite like to see the brothers having a race, but we'll go on board quickly with Volcano in front, who's getting very, very close to Higgsy now, just 3 tenths behind. And we might be seeing those medium tyres starting to lose their grip quite badly. The hard tyres might be laughing a little bit now. Sminotla looks like he's spun in sector 2, as Westy and Backer are just coming round to him now. Can Volcano get a good exit? Higgsy keeping it nice and tidy. Yeah, an Evil Master, has he had a moment? No, but someone's saying, do I see rain? I'm not, I mean, maybe a little bit. You might have better eyesight than me. Actually, I do. Looking at the halo, there is rain running off this Aston Martin. And no, Smith, I can confirm it's not the stream quality on your phone, unless we've both got poor eyesight. But I did see a bit of rain. But Colin is now gapped them. I don't know what Evil went round in the last corner. Okay, thank you for spotting that, Smith. I think you like maybe a bit like Chandok down at the Skypad, updating me on everything at the moment because I'm missing everything. Backer's time is coming, says Huss, so he must be on the wet setup. But Colin, what I was going to mention before, he was 6 seconds ahead of them. 2 laps later, he's 11 seconds. So I guess they did get caught up with Evil Master a little bit. But, I mean, it just shows the almighty pace he's going at. Brandon now on the back of Andrew down there, and he'll be loving the fact he can see a bit of rain, but now it's all about timing that pit stop for the Inters. And Glassy and Evil Master going side by side. You don't want to get on that part of the racetrack there on the paint when it's raining. And it is going to be really hard work for these guys on the mediums because they're going to be so low on grip anyway. As we see Luke getting past Quinn, and they nearly come together. The brothers having a bit of a battle. But these mediums runners, they're really going to be struggling because their tyres have had enough already, but the rain's not hard enough for them to switch to Inters yet. So they've just got to try and drag them tyres on as far as they can. But they're just going to be sliding everywhere. There could be some big things happening. This could all turn around very, very quickly, and anyone with a wet setup, a rain setup, will be starting to rub their hands together, hopefully on the straight, and celebrate the fact that it's all coming into their hands. Now, round 2 of the battle of the bros. And Quinn looks to have got that one done. And Davey was there as well. Did Davey come around the outside? I completely missed that. And oh, Quinn's just had a little tap. And he's dropped back. Ah, no. And now maybe will Quinn be thinking, I might take a risk here, dropping back from this, get those Inters on early, maybe a lap earlier than he needs to, but we'll see. Will anyone take the risk? Or maybe Brandon might take a risk with him being where he is and the fact he needs to win and Colin not to finish, essentially. Now we've got Evil Master and Al doing battle here. Al on the, you'd say, slightly more optimum strategy at the moment because those hard tyres will have a bit more life in them. As Colin goes past the pit lane, so he's happy. It's just a shower. He's not concerned at the moment. He's still got 11-second gap. As we see, oh, Davies round. Yeah, and he's spun, and that's a strange area to spin on. So I'd imagine the tyres are struggling, and this rain is getting heavier. The curbs are going to start to really trip you up now. Sminotla making a move on Entity there. have a little look back with Evil Master, who's still close behind. We've got Glassy close behind him as well. This is the battle for the final podium spot as things stand. And what a turnaround from Mercedes. And Maggot is off. And that will be a safety car, I do believe. It just says yellow flag, sector 1, sector 2, sector 3. Oh, and Westy nearly goes into the side of Maggot there. And they're slowed right down. I think this is a safety car. And, yep, Collins in the pits. Now, what tyre will he go to? Surely, we're going to see some inters coming on here. Because we've got 2 laps at slow speeds behind a safety car, you'd imagine. I think it's full safety car. I can't... Yeah, it is. Yeah. Smith, yellow dot on the map. You are absolutely a lifesaver tonight. I think, yeah, absolutely doing great things for me here. Should be my co-coms. So Volcano, and that is a wild decision. He's staying out. I like it though. I like seeing some risks. I like seeing some excitement. He is going to be in between Colin and the rest of the field though, as we're seeing lots of people switching to inters. Glassy onto the mediums. Now that is a very interesting decision as well. So, some interesting decisions here. Volcano staying out, Glassy on the inters. Everyone else appears to be putting the inters on. We'll see what Brandon goes on to. He is on the inters. So we've got Glassy and Volcano. And Glassy, who's had excellent pace, they think the rain is going to pass. Yeah, there is certainly some bold strategies here. I'd like to see it pay off. I think it'll work out. If it's going to work out for anyone, it's going to work out for Glassy better because he's got the mediums, so he'll get the temperature into the tyre quicker. And they're fresh, whereas Volcano is on 18 lap old hards. But, I mean, surely it's not raining. It doesn't look like it's raining that heavy. I'll turn the menus off so we can see a bit better. It doesn't look like it's raining that heavy, but obviously you're going so slow behind a safety car, the track could be getting much more wet by the time we go racing. Right, so we'll put the menu back on. See, yeah, everyone's still, no one else has dived into the pits. And just looking at Giraffe here, I'm glad I switched this actually, it's looking very wet in Sector 3. And you can see coming up there, it's looking wetter. So, we're also seeing, yeah, Smith, I think you're totally right, those hards will be ice cold. I can't see it being right for slicks now. I mean, it's gonna you're gonna be on tiptoes around some of these corners. Your tyres are gonna be so cold, and it does appear that it's a bit wetter in some parts of the track than others. And Giraffe's in a bit of a race to catch up, and he will catch up just in time. They're just going through Sector 3 now behind a safety car. He's coming into Sector 2. So, let's have a look on board. Glassy needs the rain to stop now. But it doesn't look like the rain is that heavy. And Volcano's pitting, so he's not happy with it. He's thinking, I need to get the inters on. I mean, obviously with it being down, he's going to drop back to last place now. But he's not going to lose out that much because he gets the inters on. He's on the right tyres. And when they go racing, you'd imagine Glassy's going to have to pit. I'm very surprised Glassy stayed out, to be honest with you. But maybe Glassy knows something we don't. Maybe he's the only guy with the actual weather forecast. As he gets a bit sideways, trying to warm those tyres up. I mean, my prediction is that strategy is not going to work out. I'd love it to, but I don't think... Oh, I can see sun coming through the clouds there, though. But it just... I mean, Sector 2 looks so wet. Now we might actually see Brandon flying through the field here. He's got to do everything he can now. He's got to absolutely go for this and hope that Colin gets caught up with something. But safety car in this lap, so when will Colin go? It's quite late that they've told him it's in this lap, so I imagine he's going to wait a little bit. He's got to wait for the car to get in. And will Jetfish, Evil Master and Al be able to go with him, or will he catch them off guard? Still waiting. Warming those tyres up. Jetfish getting right up with him. And there he goes. He catches Jetfish off guard a little bit. Lovely restart from Colin. And Al is putting Evil Master under massive pressure. And he late on the brakes. Nearly hits his teammate. Just keeps it in the road. Evil Master will get a switch back. Someone has spun. And that is... I have no idea. There were so many places. I think it was Entity. How the hell is Glassy still on the road? Awesome driving on those mediums. He's just going to have to try and keep it on the road and hope the rain stops. But look at that on the curbs. It's an absolute nightmare. Oh, and you can see on board from... Oh, no! And that harsh just came up the inside. Wesley didn't have the room. And you can see Glassy struggling. He gets out of the way of Brandon. Brandon already up to 12th. Yeah. And unfortunately for Glassy, and this is what I meant about the luck, just doesn't shine on him. Unfortunately, I think he picked the wrong decision tonight there. But maybe something can happen still. So, Colin gapping the two Mercs, a second ahead now. Al also a second behind Jetfish, and then Evil Master, Higgsy, Quinn, all a second behind each other, so it's all quite even gaps there. Obviously there's no DRS. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3. I do believe that is Glassy. He'll just have no grip at the moment. He'll be coming in for Inters, I imagine, at the end of this lap, and that's really backfired for him. Brandon up to 9th. Let's watch the man on the charge. And I'll get rid of the tyre graphic and we'll have a look at something else at least. Positions gained instead, and Brandon is flying. It looks like Davey's got a bit of damage on the left end plate of that front wing. He's keeping his inside, his nose in, and yeah, I don't think he was ever going to be able to get back past Brandon there. So Brandon up to 8th. What a restart for him. But he's really got to find his way through the field with Colin starting to gap Jetfish. But he looks like he's got great grip at the moment, Brandon. Where is Backer? We think he's got the wet setup on. He's 1.4 seconds behind Andrew in 15th. So what can he do? Luke, a good, just to give him a mention, up 8 places. So are the Mercedes. Gone about his race quietly again and flying, and so with Quinn up 3 places into 6th. Fretty makes an overtake on Davey, but I do believe that's Davey in the pits. So we got Luke and Quinn doing battle again. Luke up the inside. Will Quinn fight it back? He's having a look. Yellow flag in sector 3 again. That looks like it might be Giraffe. I was just waiting to see if it was Glassy overtaking him. It was. And Bakker now gaining on Andrew as well. Those wet setups, whoever's got them on, it's starting to work out, but there's a lot of gaps to make up. Colin also gapping Jetfish, 1.7 seconds now. Al further back from Jetfish now as Luke up into 6th, and he'll be trying to protect Colin as well from Brandon. We know Luke's a great team player. Him and Colin work so well as a team together, and they have for a few seasons now. Brandon right behind Quinn here. Now it's all about ERS. There will be no DRS as we've got a wet race on our hands. Brandon gets it tucked in beautifully. He's got a lovely exit. What a great drive. He has to get off the throttle a little bit. I don't know if he had a little moment or he was scared of getting into the back there. And he's just going to be too far back now. Oh, and got off the throttle just at the right time. Oh, and he's got so much grip through some of these corners, and just an unbelievable... Davey's out. Could have another safety car here. What an unbelievable move from Brandon. Bakker on a charge, says Huss. Yeah, he's definitely catching Andrew at a fast pace, but I don't know if this is a full safety car or not. They've had to stop literally dead. Brandon's had to give the position back to Quinn there, has he? No, he hasn't. Full safety car, yeah, Smith, you're right again. And Brandon got past. That brings Glassy back into the equation now. He'll be on the correct tyres, and Colin has got to set about building that lead up all over again. Brandon now up to 7th. That worked out perfectly for him because he gained about 10-11 positions on that restart, and he's got Colin in sight. Obviously he still needs Colin to finish outside the points, but can he at least challenge him for the win? And also to bear in mind, Mercedes and Ferrari in the constructors battle. Ferrari have the points advantage at the moment. It looks like they will be bringing the constructors home as it stands, but Mercedes in 2nd and 3rd, if they can make something happen and Ferrari lose out on this safety car restart, then we could still see that change. So it's still all to play for, but advantage Ferrari and Colin as we speak. Right, so Bakker up to 13th, and then he's pitted, so he's got some fresh inters on. Maybe the tyre wear was particularly bad, but they are trying to take those to the end, or maybe got a bit of damage. Westy puts the wet tyres on, and it is absolutely chucking it down. That could be an absolute masterstroke from Westy. And as we all know, I love to see alternate strategies. I would like to say that Westy's learned that one off me being his teammate, but he often knows what's going on more than I do, as you've seen from my weather forecast so far. So, will that work out? And Colin and Jetfish pit. It is going to be wet tyres, I think, here. Oh, and Jetfish overtook Colin coming into the pit lane. So Colin is not even got the track position anymore unless he gets this absolutely nailed. No, he's come out behind Jetfish. So did Colin just take it easy coming in? Drive through penalty for Entity. What a shame. Yeah, that's unfortunate. He's going to have to wait till after the safety car comes in to serve it, and everyone is putting those wet tyres on. Brandon stays out on the inters. It's going to be a close one. Bakker, has he made the wrong move? He pitted, but he left the inters on. Well, he didn't leave the inters on. He just switched for another pair of fresh inters. I say pair, a set of fresh inters. So Higgsy out and Brandon all staying out. They have track position. Just as I was saying, advantage Ferrari. It could all change, but this is looking wet. Right, so we've got Jetfish behind on those wet tyres. Will Al dive in? Will Al Higgsy or Brandon dive into the pits? I'd imagine. Oh no, Bakker saying he's on wets now, but he must have pitted again. Volcano drive-through penalty for falling too far back. I've not seen that before. How far back is he? That seems incredibly harsh. Ow, speeding in the pit lane. 5-second penalty. Brandon, unfortunately, not pitting that lap earlier, is going to lose out some positions. So it's all changing again. Higgsy stays out on the inters. And if Higgsy can hold on to this on those inters, which I think it's going to be extremely, extremely unlikely, but again, we love to see it. It's going to just be an incredible drive and very opportunistic as well. I believe Jetfish might have cut the entrance to the pit lane. That's how he got past Colin. It's quite a little winding entrance, so he's managed to get up. Zabayaka, he won the first division race yesterday. He will be rooting for the Astons. Good evening to you, Zabayaka. And yeah, Higgsy taking the risk here. Bakker, I think we've got a wet set up on him. Unfortunately, he put the inters on, so he's had to put wets on again. And he's got to make up those places again. So we're coming down into the last 8 laps of Season 4. It's a wet race. We've got some risk takers in Entity and Higgsy, although Entity's got a drive-through as well. And we'll see what happens. Brandon needs a lot to happen now. And unless he's got the... Let me just check on something quickly. Can I see fastest lap? Maybe I can't. Colin has the fastest lap, so I'm afraid I've been hyping it up. That will be the championship to Colin, because I think Brandon needed the fastest lap as well. But can Brandon end the season with a win? Can we see Colin and Brandon go at it one last time? And you can see Higgsy waited late for the start, but he's just got no pace or grip on those inters. Jetfish pass, but Jetfish runs wide. Colin having a look. What can happen now? So Jetfish got past going into the pit lane. Not really sure what happened. Yeah, I'm sure we'll find out at some point. But Colin is now being made to fight for this win in a very, very wet race. Bakker already up to 11th. Looks like there's been quite a lot of incidents. Bakker up to 9th, up 10 places now. Westy up to 8th. Brandon is back up to 7th. Ow up into 4th. We'll see if we can catch some of the battles in the background as well. And we have got a battle here. It's Fretty, Brandon, Higgsy, Westy, Bakker, and is that Quinn as well? Oh, they're all sharing the same piece of road. Brandon, and that's a great move back on Fretty. And now Fretty's going to be under pressure from Westy, who's going brilliantly well tonight. He picked the wetter strategy perfectly as well. A real game changer on that one. And they seem to have that done. And then we've got some close battles behind as well. We've got Glassy on his way back. Evil Master's out. Evil Master's out. Oh, and he looked like he tagged the back of a car. Higgsy's off as well. Where did Higgsy go? Oh, sorry, I completely missed that. Yeah, on the inters, not massively surprising. I think Aston's collected each other. Yeah, I didn't see what happened to Bakker actually. So maybe that did happen. But we do have a safety car again. So we're going to have another shootout to the line. We've got the Mercedes and the Ferrari. That could change the Constructors' title. But Luke is still in the points. It's going to be very, very close in the Constructors' title as things stand. I think at this point Ferrari will just do it. Brandon and Colin, the gap is well, on track there's 2 positions, but there's a safety car, so it's literally nothing. If it's in a championship, it's 40 points in Colin's favour. A race win is 40 points, so... And I think because Colin has the fastest lap, which won't be beat, I think Colin is safe on the title, even if he crashes out and Brandon wins at this point. And Zab's saying it looks like All Gear's championship is going to Ferrari. Well, we'll see. There's a lot of stuff happening. It's still getting wetter on the track. We've got some penalties to check. Volcano with a drive-through. Backer with 5 seconds as well. I guess they're not speeding in the pit lane. And it all goes again. Ow! Drive-through penalty. And that's an absolute disaster for him, because he'd nearly turned it round in the constructors, and he sped under the safety car, and now he's going to drive through. So he will be finishing outside the points, because he's going to serve that after the safety cars come in, and there won't be enough time unless there's a huge crash that takes out half the field to make it up. So on the last lap, they could have thrown away their chance for constructors unless something happens to the Ferraris. Now it would be relying on Jetfish to win and the Ferraris not to finish. We got Brandon, he'll be hoping to get a win back and hopefully beat Colin here for his sake, and to really take that championship as close as he possibly could have. It's been such an awesome championship between these two. Such clean, fair racing and such unbelievable pace from the pair of them, and hopefully we'll see more of that next season. Fretty, I haven't mentioned much this race. Well, he's gone quietly about his business. We always know he's good on the strategy. He's got good racecraft, good race pace, and he is up 12 positions into 5th. Got Westy in 6th. What a great race for him so far. Glassy back in 7th after he was running on the mediums when it started raining heavily. So what a great recovery from him. He's had great pace here all evening, but can he get the result he deserves here? He's been so unlucky all season. It'd be great to see him getting up close to the podium positions here. Right, we've got the Astons at the back as well. Zabi, I think Collins won the championship because he's got the fastest lap, which was on dry tyres. And essentially, at the start of the race, if Colin had pole, Colin needed to finish outside the points, and Brandon would need to win and take fastest lap to beat Colin by 1 point. So it was a massively uphill task anyway. You never know what can happen, as we've seen from this race tonight. There's been a lot of stuff happening, but because Colin's got the fastest lap, no matter what happens now, it looks like Colin will be taking home the Premier Division Championship once again. But fair play to Brandon for his recovery after spinning early on, and his just unbelievable pace all year. He's took Colin down to the final race. He's took him to the wire. And what an awesome season we've had. And same with Mercedes, with Ferrari taking the constructors down to the wire. Unfortunately, Al picking up that drive through. It looks like it will cost them the chance of winning the constructors, and that will be going home with Colin and Luke for another season. So it's looking good for Ferrari at the moment, but let's hope for some awesome racing in the last few laps. I still don't see safety car in, and Jetfish is still staying with it, so it's one more lap. We're going to have about a 3-lap sprint to the end. Brandon will end up back on the podium as things stand, because Al will be pitting. Well, I say pitting. He will be coming through the pit lane to serve that drive-through penalty. We got Fretty down in 5th. It'd be interesting to see what he can do. It'd be nice to see Fretty pick up a podium. He's had some awesome races this season. And just looking at the tyres here, Volcano and Entity on Inters. I don't know if it'll ease off that much. But the rain's definitely not coming down as hard, but I just don't think, after running behind a safety car, that the track is anywhere near dry enough. So I imagine the safety car will be in this lap. Unfortunately, Giraffe looks to be a lap down, so he won't be able to race for position. Safety car is in this lap, but Mylander's ears must have been burning. Now, we've got, what's it going to be? It'll be 34. So we'll have lap 34, 35. So we're going to have 3 laps to the end. One last sprint shootout in the wet of Brazil to finish off the Premier Division season. We've got a Mercedes sandwich, Colin in second. We've got Brandon, who's second in the championship, in fourth. And when will Jetfish go? He's waiting as long as possible. And he's gone. An hour's coming as well. And Mercedes looked like they communicated there and they got that done. A little bit of contact on Colin from Mercedes. Colin gets it tucked back. Brandon's going around the outside. Brandon's got it done. And there goes Brandon. It looks like Colin got caught up a little bit with Al at the first corner. And he's under pressure again. And that's Brandon through. Colin now holding him off. It looks like he got a tap from him now. I don't know if he got any damage. He looks to be okay, which is good news. Now Al's not giving it up. Al has got a drive-through penalty to serve. We've got things happening at the back. Glassy looks like he's off. So I've commentated curses. I've done a commentator's curse again for Glassy. I'm really going to have to start mentioning him because I seem to curse him every race this season. Volcano now on the back of Entity as well in those intermediate battles. So we have got Westy and Fretty holding on to 5th and 6th. The two brothers in Quinn and Luke 7th and 8th. Back up to 10th. It's been a real up and down race for him. Sminotler in 9th. Andrew 11th. Higsy 12th. Just 2 laps remaining of the season. And it looks like it's more likely Brandon on Jetfish at the moment rather than Colin. And there's a yellow flag. That's Giraffe. RSF1 saying Brandon will win the race. Well, he's got a huge chance here. He was helped out a bit by the incident in the first corner with Al and Colin. Colin obviously, hampered with the Mercedes making contact, but Brandon took advantage of it and got great drive off the second corner. RSF1, Robin. Yeah. That makes sense. And we've got Westy now putting Fretty under pressure. And Westy, for me, has potentially been the driver of the day today. Coming up from First Division, up into 6th in Premier Division against what we know are really, really fast guys. Absolutely flying. Now, does it also look like this is getting drier? It looks like it's getting drier to me. The wet guys seem to be struggling a bit more, but so do the Inters. Westy's past Fretty. Let's have a look what's going on there. And we've got an Alfa Romeo on the grass. Backer, it's all kicking off. I think Quinn was the one on the grass. Backer right behind Luke. So he's now splitting up the brothers. We've got a battle with the Dutch. Westy up into 4th as Al pits to serve his drive through. So Westy, he's got a penalty, but he could be so close to the podium positions in Premier Division. What a drive. Colin still hanging on to the back of this at the moment. He's got 70% ERS. He's saving a little bit. Maybe he's waiting. But he might have... He's going to have to try and get a move on. But as I said, he has got the championship done. Can Brandon take that last win of the season, or will it go to Jetfish? As we round the final few corners and bring down the curtain on an amazing season 4 in Premier Division. I think Brandon will be a little bit too far back. They both have ERS. Jetfish gets a good exit. Brandon not using the ERS by the looks of it. And he is now, but that will be Jetfish for the win, followed by Brandon. Colin slowing right down, finishing in style. Westy coming across. And we've got a few penalties. Backer. And Luke got a 20-second penalty for corner cutting. So what happened there for Luke at the end? Ow, 5-second penalty for unserved penalty. Back it up to 6th. I don't know if we missed some overtakes or if that was with penalties at the end. But Backer recovers all the way up to 6th. So he obviously did have the pace, up 13 places. Fretty 12th, up 12 places. Westy, unfortunately, his penalty dropped him down to 7th. Only missed out on it by a 10th, but what a race from him. Quinn up in 8th. Andrew 9th. We had Jetfish winning from Brandon and Colin. We had Al down in 11th after that late drive-through penalty. Glassy, unfortunately, dropped it on the wet tyres, and yeah, that brings it to a close. We've got Colin, who will be the Drivers' Champion. We've got Ferrari, who will be the Constructors' Champions. I think, unfortunately, for Mercedes, if Al had not got that drive-through penalty, they might have snuck it by a point or two. But that drive-through penalty costing them dearly. Brandon getting 2nd place, took it to the wire, but what a great season between Colin and Brandon there. Jetfish getting the win, and as you can see, Colin taking the fastest lap, so maximising his points. Great recovery by Backer and Fretty and Westy, who had poor qualifying. And I'm a bit breathless after that. There was a lot of talk of rain, maybe not rain, what was going to happen, all changing around. Oh, I struggled to keep up, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. That is the ending of Season 4 for us in Premier Division. What a season it is. I can't wait for Season 5 and some more battling, and we will be back very soon for some more great racing and hopefully some more exciting championship battles like we've had this season. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and we will see you soon here at RPM.